San Diego home sellers have not slashed their prices yet. The new data just came out, which we're going to dive into, let you know exactly what's happening right here in the San Diego real estate market, including those prices. And we're going to dive into all of those numbers right now, let you know what is happening with prices. Are there more buyers out there? Are there more sellers coming on the market? And everything you need to know about the San Diego real estate market. So let's get into it right now. All right, so here's all the data, and it can get confusing. So we got some slides that we're gonna bring up in a sec and let you know what this actually means and break this all down on new listings and pendings and closings and days on market and all that kind of stuff. And one number that we just mentioned, the median sales price was $1,070,000 in June 2024. Now this June of 2025, it was $1,050,000, so down just shy of 2%. So home prices have softened a little bit and will potentially continue to soften. You can see that just turning over right here in the condo market. Last June was $690,000. This June was $655,000, so 5% down. So here is the broken down version of that chart we just saw. The San Diego housing market for July of 2025. These numbers are from June. Prices are down, inventory is up, and sellers are still holding firm. So sellers are standing their ground. Right now, there's no widespread panic among San Diego sellers. We're not seeing huge price reductions or huge price differences between the final asking price or the final sales price and the current list price. We're not seeing, 5, 10, 15% off of these home prices. And home sellers are still pricing confidently despite softening demand, meaning if a home on their block, in their neighborhood, relatively the same condition, all that, as we're running comparables for clients, we're running through, okay, what homes are most similar to this in this most similar location with the most similar finishes, and coming up with a valuation from there. Most sellers right now are still tending to price right at that, maybe a little bit above, really dependent on specific areas and specific neighborhoods, but not too many times are we seeing them price a little bit below that. So when you are pricing your home, there's a few different options. You could price it right at last sales. It's kind of right in the middle. You could price it a little above, you could price it a little bit below, and all three of those have different strategies. Right now, we're seeing most people price a little bit at, maybe a little bit over that still. The days on the market jumped to 27 days, which is up significantly, 35% year over year. Last June, it was only at 20 days. Now you're thinking 7 days, that's not too much longer. I mean, it's an extra week, but in the big scheme of things, when a few years ago, the days on market was even below this, it was like 10 or less. You can see 27, it just means homes are sitting a bit longer because that buyer demand is a little softer for a variety of reasons, including current mortgage rates and current prices. All in all, sellers are facing more negotiation, but they aren't rushing to slash their prices. So this is the average sale to list price, just about 99.1%, down from last year where we were right around here, down from 2023 and down from 2022. Now in the peaks, yes, it was way up here. Now these years were a little bit more normalized or not as aggressive as 21, 22. So prices are coming down slightly compared to what they're listed at, but you're not seeing a huge drop off here. And as we mentioned, prices are cooling, but they're not crashing. The median price right now is down, like we said, just about 2% year over year from 100.07 million to 100.05 million. This is for detached homes. Now the story in the condo market or attached homes, townhomes, all that kind of stuff, you saw it was about 5% below. There's more of those actually coming on the market as well. So that market's getting a little bit more saturated, which is putting a little bit more downward pressure on prices. The average price was down at nearly 6% a year. Year to date, median price is still up 3%. So where we started the year to where we are right now, it's up a little bit. And high-end homes are feeling the most impact. So above a certain price point, like the median price point, and then once you go another deviation from that is where you're seeing a little bit more softness in the market. Some of those entry-level homes, even though entry-level here in San Diego is still expensive, those are seeming to get a little bit more buyer demand. There's just a bigger buyer pool for those. So those more affordable homes are tending to see a little bit more action, where the more expensive homes are tending to see a little bit less. And so here's where we are right now, June 2025. Here is where we started the year. So you can see a little tiny bit up for the year, but down below where we were over here in June of 2024, in May, in April, we're below all of those numbers. And usually right now, as we go into the summer months, you might see this even drop a little bit more. And one of the biggest factors that will affect this is going to be mortgage rates. Are we going to see this continue to go up? Is it going to continue to go down? Last week when we made the video, it was right around this part right here, 6.72. It had a few more days to drop. And then the 10-year treasury started going up, meaning interest rates and mortgage rates rather did start going up. So as of now, we're sitting at 6.81%, trending in the non-favorable position for that. And compared to last year, we're seeing more homes and fewer bidding wars, which is a story we've been telling here for the past few months. We're seeing less buyers out there. We're seeing more homes come on, which is spreading out the current buyers out there, which is causing homes to sit a little bit longer. So inventory is up 8% year over year. This is just for single family homes where you're looking at 3,949 homes, which is up that 8% right here. But when you look at condos, there's 2,560 homes, which is up 18.6%. So you can see a much bigger jump in the attached single family homes, so condos, townhomes, as opposed to detached single family homes. And with pending sales and closed sales down, just showing less buyer demand out there compared to last year, down to 7.3%. We're having less homes go under contract, meaning a buyer wrote an offer, they got it accepted, it's in escrow as we call it, and closed sales, so actual sales are down 1.9%. And buyers are taking more time, means less urgency in the market, taking a little bit longer to write offers, maybe seeing a few more homes, maybe seeing a home, going home to sleep on it. We've had a few situations where people did ready to write an offer, they decided to sleep on it, and they decided, oh, we're gonna rent instead. So we've seen that a lot. We've also seen homes go under contract super fast. So it's really dependent on specific homes where we've been helping buyers, and there still are multiple offers in some situations. So not no bidding wars, you see fewer bidding wars at the top here. And it's a little bit different than past years when homes were going well over list price, whether it be 10,000, 100,000, 150,000, in some cases even more over list price. Now we're seeing a lot of those bids from multiple buyers coming in right around list, maybe a touch above, some even still well below. So it's really dependent on house to house, but longer timelines are equaling more negotiation leverage for buyers. And here's the main point: sellers aren't slashing yet. Will this continue going forward? Right now, sellers are getting, like I said, about 98% of the original list price, but it's down from 99.5%. So last June, a $1 million home was getting just shy of $1 million. But this year, on average, sellers are getting 97.9% of that $1 million. So 979,000 as opposed to 995,000 last year. But all in all, the list to sales price ratios are still high, like we showed you on that Redfin chart. Some negotiation is happening, but there's not really a lot of panic selling. Sellers are still being patient. They're not slashing their prices unless they absolutely need to. And in the market right now, as a whole, is kind of in a wait and see. Buyers are going to wait to see what's happening with mortgage rates, what's going to happen over these next few months. And if mortgage rates do fall, we will likely see more buyers come back into the market. And something that we have seen, refinance applications, people who bought and maybe were waiting for rates to drop closer to that 6% are actually having to refi right now, where maybe just saving a little bit compared to where they got it last year when the rates were above 7, because right now they are below that. But refinance applications were a whopping 40% higher than a year earlier. So a huge jump in that, even though a year earlier there was barely any people refinancing because the rate you would have to refinance your house was well above what you were currently at or super close. So it wasn't really going to make sense. Usually people are refining either to take out some cash or to save some money on their monthly payment. So 40%, yes, that is a big jump, but it's all relative compared to last year. But in contrast, here's the interesting part: applications for purchase mortgages were unchanged. And so even though we are a little bit lower from last year this time, it was just above 7%. rates were at 7.01%. Right now we are at 6.81%. So even though rates are slightly lower and we were on a downtrend here for a little bit, the mortgage purchase applications are relatively the same as they were last year. And so why was the title of this "Sellers Aren't Slashing Prices Yet" right here in San Diego? Is because the yet part, we don't know what's going to happen over these next few months. What's going to happen with interest rates? What's going to happen with the amount of buyers? Are we going to see anything happen with the economy? There's just a lot of things going on. And even as buyers right now, this is a time, yes, there's interest rates are a little bit higher, but there's opportunities where you're seeing less competition. We just had some clients who closing today who only had one other offer, and we were able to beat that out. So less competition than we have seen in years past. And sellers, still, homes are selling. We're seeing homes sell every single day. Some are taking a little bit longer to sell. Some are having to adjust the prices to where the market is comfortable with. So it's really coming down to your specific situation. If you guys are thinking about making a move and you want to start that conversation, I'm Chris Erickson. We got a real estate crew right here in San Diego, and we got your back when making the move here in San Diego.